The organization, by the way, founded by Martin Luther King. My job was to be in black churches almost every Sunday when I was running the organization, the Western region. And I would never hear the kind of things coming out of this pastor's mouth. Listen, Dr. King gave a very dramatic speech at the Riverside Church in New York City, where he condemned the war in Vietnam. A lot of black pastors at that point broke with him. They said he was going outside of the civil rights domain. But you never heard the kinds of things coming out of Dr. King's mouth that you hear coming out of this man's mouth.
You know, here's what
He's an embarrassment.
Here's what but people have to understand. This is black liberation theology. Now, is there a chance that this is just a small part of this church, that somehow or another Barack Obama might have missed this? I mean, this has nothing to do, it seems, with the atonement and being set free by Jesus Christ. It seems to have everything to do being set free by destroying the United States government.
Well, listen, it's unlikely that somebody could sit in a church for more than 20 years and not be aware, peripherally even, that these were the kind of things that were being said by your pastor that you may not have heard, but you're sure hearing it from other congregants. Here's a man who apparently was in a very casual relationship with his pastor. They may have sat and had dinner. He must have known that this man had these kind of anti-white, anti-American views. So it doesn't quite work that Barack Obama can say, well, I wasn't there when he said this. Well, come on. You got to be aware of it. So these explanations simply don't work, which is why the guys drop it in the polls, because the explanations so far don't make sense. Even though he condemned and severed ties with this man this week, there's still a lot of questions left to be answered.
Here's what I think. I mean, you know what, if this is what your church is, that's great. I'm just glad it's on my radar screen so I know exactly who you are. And if you go to this church, I know exactly what the kind of things you think. Barack Obama is trying to make it past that, oh, well, I mean, he can go, and you know what, they do a lot of good, too. How is it possible to believe that you could be influenced by this man, a guy who married you and your wife, who baptized your children, who you say is like a family member, and not be influenced by this kind of stuff?
Well, I don't believe for a minute that Barack Obama believes this kind of conspiratorial nonsense. What I think we may have had here is a marriage of convenience. Because here's a guy who came from elite universities, who was looking for black street cred, that got offered up by what was known to be the blackest church in Chicago. So I think it offered him the racial authenticity he sought as he sought public office, and he needed that to then court black votes. So, you know, but listen, as Shelby Steele says, here's a bound man. He needs white votes, he needs black votes. And he's trying to cross back and forth across this aisle to do both.
Yeah.
And I think now it's not working very well because this history now has caught up with him, and it's simply not working very well.
Joe, we have to take a break. Stay where you are. We'll be right back with more stuff that you just won't believe from the Reverend in just a second.